Hello and welcome to another EG Recap. I'm Jack Lindsay and I've got 3 stories for you today. In our first one, Microsoft Exile is being used to recreate a classic strategy game. Then a new Path of Exile update has become available. EA gets in the Guinness World Book of Records, but not how they wanted. And did I say I had 3 stories? I can't even count. I have 4 stories for you. Story number 4, 3 words, DOOM Bone Vodka. But before we get into the news, I thought I'd just address a certain comment I've been seeing. Now, obviously, the vast majority of the feedback in the comments has been really positive, really helpful, constructive criticism, and I'm always still trying to work on improving things. But there's a kind of comment I've been seeing that I've also been seeing on articles in the site. Not just mine, but other writers as well. And I wanted to address it and maybe try to help clear it up for the people who keep leaving it. There's a consistent complaint very often whenever a writer has an opinion on something that one of these commenters doesn't like. When people see that, they'll say, "I thought this was supposed to be exclusively games." Now, I choose to interpret these comments in good faith. I'm going to assume that the people truly do not understand what is meant by exclusively games, and hopefully this will clear it up. Because I could see how it might not be clear just from that title alone. And I've had several conversations with Jeremy and other staff about this, so I feel I can accurately represent what I've heard. The purpose of the site, the reason it's called Exclusively Games, is that its writers do not inject political agendas into their articles, which has become, sadly, as many of you know, all too common in the gaming industry today, especially in games media. So that's what it means. It means no political agendas. It does not mean no opinions about anything. The writers of Exclusively Games, myself included, have been given the go-ahead to give our takes on gaming-related matters, such as the quality of a game, or our reaction to a decision from the developers, or if something is funny to us, or strange, or if we really like it, or if we dislike it. None of us are restrained in such a way that we cannot put personal input into our work. In fact, having a personal connection to our work makes what we write and produce more real. And this is a compliment that I've been seeing on my recaps a lot lately. Several of you have been saying, "I like how real you are." And I appreciate that. And I hope for those who've been confused that I've cleared up what it means to cover games exclusively. It does not mean we are without opinion. It means that our opinions relate exclusively to games. Not politics, not political agendas, not ideologies, no moralizing, just games. And with that out of the way, let's get on to the news. In our first bit of news, Microsoft Exile is now a strategy game, says Mr. Irwin. "In my many years of gaming," he says, "I've seen everything from the awesome to the awful, but every now and then something strange appears on the horizon. What can be considered more strange than using Microsoft Exile to recreate one of the most iconic strategy series, Sid Meier's Civilization? Impossible, he hears you say. But if there's one thing we know now by 2019, it's that nothing is impossible and all it takes is determination and skill to achieve anything you want." Sure. Even if that desire is using a program that is mostly a spreadsheet pack mule to most users as the base for a video game. Which brings us to Civilization, a basic version of Civilization that is as weird as it is impressive. He's seen Excel used for a lot of things, but never for a video game. User Solly has released version 1.0 with the following description, and it's a rather large description, so just watch the video, my lovelies. "This is my first game in Excel, with the first iteration, 1.0, created in just around a week for the OLC Code Jam 2019. The Game Jam's theme is destruction, which is apt for this game's 1.0 iteration, given that the only way to win is to destroy the opposing team. The game is very light on features, basically just build units and attack the opposition, but I will add additional features, DLC you could call it, if people are keen to see more. The game currently features 2 players, blue versus green in a hot seat environment, movable units using WASD, a camera that is movable around the world map independent of unit movement, the ability to build different unit types in cities using the 0 to 6 keys, multiple unit types each with their own statistics, with some having special abilities, unit movement speed dependent on the ground it traverses, the ability to build new cities in order to produce units more often, one world with a close quarters or larger/longer game setting available, and Fog of War. Version 1.0, along with instructions to get you started, are available on itch.io. And you know Mr. Irwin has included the link to that in his article below. "Color me impressed," he says. "I wonder how many people are going to try to boot this up during a 9 to 5 workday instead of using solitaire to kill some spare time." Let me take a look at this trailer that's been playing while you guys have been watching. I don't know what to think of it. Are any of you going to check it out? Are any of you going to download this? Have I and Mr. Irwin brought this new experience into anyone's lives? Our next story by the same author, new Path of Exile update available now. Path of Exile is a popular free-to-play RPG that has popped on and off the radar several times since it first rose to popularity in 2013. Though things have seemed quiet since June of this year with the launch of the Legion expansion. But after a bit of wait, Grinding Gear Games is back with the new Blight update. While the update hosts several tweaks, changes, and additions, the star of the show is the new Blight challenge itself, which plays out much like a tower defense game. And we've got a bit of developer lore here that says, Sister Cassia is trying to stop the spread of the mind-controlling Blight by destroying fungal growths. When attacked, the Blight commands infected monsters to defend it. The monsters mindlessly follow the Blight's tendrils, only attacking foes directly in their path. The infected are usually tough, so you'll need to build defensive towers to exploit each monster's specific weakness. For each tendril lane you defend, a chest will appear with your rewards. Yeah, that does sound like a tower defense. Even though tower defense modes are usually a sign that a development team is running short on ideas at the moment, the update itself actually looks pretty fun, says Jonathan. It's also something that looks like it can get out of hand incredibly fast, as you can see in the trailer. This update also includes 18 new divination cards, 16 new skill and support gems, 16 new unique items, and a rebalance of 24 pre-existing unique items. While the game is free to play, the update also has supporter packs available, including new ones specifically for this new update, though they look to be a bit on the pricey side. That's hyperlinked in his article, let me check it out. You got one for $5, one for $10, one for $20. The Blight is available now for PC players and will launch on September 9th for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 players. I haven't played Path of Exile pretty much since it came out, but if you guys enjoyed Diablo 2, the developers have said that that game was the main inspiration for Path of Exile. They were very disappointed with Diablo 4, as were a lot of old hardcore Diablo fans. And this one, along with Grim Dawn, they're both kind of seen as more of the spiritual successors to the original Diablo 2. And I always hear fans of each argue that either one is more of the spiritual successor. I don't know personally. But this game comes highly recommended, so you might want to check it out. Our third story, I think all our stories are from Mr. Irwin. EA earns a world record that brings shame. Imagine my shock. It's not unusual for individuals, groups, or even companies to want their name immortalized into the Guinness Book of World Records. From the astounding to the absurd to the obscene, if you want to get a world record, it's as simple as dreaming big and then pursuing it. I think Mr. Irwin is an optimist. We need more of those in the world. I don't think EA was dreaming big when they sparked a lot of controversy in 2017 with Star Wars Battlefront 2 regarding their stance on loot boxes and how heavily the game relied on them to unlock not just little bells and whistles, but, at the time, nearly everything. Even fan favorites like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader were not safe from the loot box craze. Fans of the game were outraged and understandably felt betrayed. Instead of a ranking system to unlock most of their in-game goodies, it was reliant on a mechanic that these days is widely considered to be a form of gambling. It's gambling. So of course, EA, being known for their stellar community interaction, issued the following statement in reply to one thread on the Star Wars Battlefront subreddit, where the original poster was furious that they paid $79.99 for the game only to see that Vader was locked. And I'm going to read this quote for you. Let me see if I can manage to get it on screen when I edit this. The intent is to... Some of you know this quote. Some of you are familiar with this quote already, but if not, you're going to like this. The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As for cost, we selected initial values based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at average per-player credit earn rates on a daily basis. And we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course, attainable via gameplay. We appreciate the candid feedback and the passion the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit, our forums, and across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback and update everyone as soon and as often as we can. This would become an instant regret moment for the company as it quickly faced an onslaught of downvotes. And then that reply would eventually force EA and DICE to change their ways. And even though a lot of damage was done, Star Wars Battlefront 2 eventually shaped up to be a fun game with a soiled reputation. But what does this have to do with the Guinness World Book of Records? Well, on the Star Wars subreddit, a thread popped up that revealed that that comment from EA's community team working on Battlefront 2 has earned the not-so-coveted title of the most downvoted comment on Reddit. The comment, at the time the Guinness World Records 2020 was published, had over 683,000 downvotes. Oh, we gotta see what it's at now. That's about the same. It's currently at negative 667,822 points. It got gilded 112 times, 83 silvers, and 6 platinums. The top comment under it at 19.7 thousand points is, "That's just rich, be honest. The truth is, you know very few people are going to sink a full work week into this game, and you're hoping that somebody is desperate enough to buy credits to unlock the character. It has nothing to do with providing a sense of pride and accomplishment. This is a flat-out lie and you know it. How naive do you think your player base is?" Ah, man, naive enough a year later to call loot boxes surprise mechanics. There's another comment that says, "I only sense a disturbance in your sales figures." God, these comments are brutal. You know what? I'm going to include the link to this in the description so you guys can check it out yourself. As much as I would like to just read off a list of these comments for you. Our next story is kind of neat. Hypothetically neat. Hypothetically garbage. You'll see what I mean. A shot of Doom, popular FPS franchise to get own vodka. After a long day of work, sometimes you just want to sit down with your game of choice and crack open a cold one with your online buddies as you lay waste to your foes. Other times, you need a more focused and refined experience. Perhaps a glass of fine wine while you get engrossed in an RPG. Huh. Or how about just getting absolutely trashed while playing some Doom? "Yeah, I see you out there," says Mr. Irwin, and I'm right there with you. Apparently Bethesda and id Software are also on board with the idea, as they announced through the Bethesda UK Twitter account that they have partnered with Rebel Distillers to release something new from the depths of hell itself, DOOM Bone Vodka. Is that not like the most metal name you've ever heard for drink? DOOM Bone Vodka? I don't even drink, but I want some of that. Yes, you read it correctly. DOOM Bone Vodka, or more accurately, despite the name, it's bone marrow. Well, that's just even more metal. Bone marrow vodka? I've heard bone marrow's really nutritious too, although I don't know if any of that carries over into the distilling process. Rebel Distillers is creating this demonic concoction using bones from a London butchery, the Ginger Pig, and is extracting the bone marrow of beef cattle that have been roasted and smoked. This is just... The overall taste is described to go in dry, go down smooth, and leave you with a smoky finish. To both the gamer and the drinker, this sounds like a unique drink indeed. Yeah, those of you who do drink, when this comes out, there'll probably be another article about it, and it'll probably end up in a recap again, and you guys gotta tell me what it tastes like. However, this isn't the first time Bethesda's brought out an alcoholic drink inspired by a game. Yes, this is what I was talking about. This is why this could hypothetically be a disaster. Just last year with Fallout 76, they did a promotional run of new... Okay, let's get all the stupid out. Just last year with Fallout 76, they did a promotional run of Nuka Dark, and it was as big a mess as the whole nylon bag instead of canvas debacle. Advertised in a beautiful dark glass bottle, it looked like Nuka Dark would at the very least be an awesome collector's item if you never opened it. Wrong. Nuka Dark shipped in a shoddy plastic bottle around a real bottle that looked like a cartoon compared to what was advertised, and the rum it contained was both weak and disappointing. Yeah, and the lip was messed up so that when you poured it, it would get all over the place. You know, the Internet Historian did a video on this, covering the catastrophe of the rum and the bags and so many other missteps. It's his top-rated video at 9.4 million views. I'm gonna link it in the description below. It's hilarious. You guys definitely should check it out. If you're brave and willing to throw caution to the wind, DOOM Bone Vodka is available for pre-order now for legal drinking age residents of Europe and Australia through Rebel Distillers. You can also get on a mailing list for when it becomes available for other regions. I would advise against this, wherever you are watch that video, watch the Internet Historian video, and take my friendly advice. Don't pre-order anything through Bethesda. I mean, if you just have to do that, you might as well just throw your money straight into a fire. At least that will keep you warm for a little bit. You can get on a mailing list for when it becomes available in other regions. Doom is a beloved franchise for many of us, and it's come up quite a few times at Exclusively Games. Just recently, Mr. Irwin wrote about a mod that brings the best of Doom 2016 to older games, and the one and only Jack Lindsay covered over 40 minutes of footage for the upcoming Doom Eternal. And we also have an interview with the Doom guy by Gavin Anand, and all three of those articles are in the article below. And that's going to be it for today's recap. Feed me those delicious likes and comments and subscribes and shares. Don't forget shares. And I'll see you on the next one.